Dumb, cool,
weird
podcast. Welcome to the Dumb, Cool, Weird podcast. We're kind of tired, but we just watched
the dumbest fucking movie.
Yeah, we watched The Barbarians.
The Barbarian Brothers.
Yeah. Well, I think it was the Barbarian Brothers in The Barbarians.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So, anyways, let's take it from the top here. They come from a tribe of people that can roam the land freely, that they're supposed to be able to pass through, and our main characters control all the music, whimsy, common decency, and other nice things about the earth, while everyone else is just murdering and raping each other.
Yeah, they also kind of had like interesting looking makeup that didn't really match up across the board.
They were either ancient, like Aztecs, or other Native Americans, or Egyptians, or Princess Amidala.
And a midget.
Yeah, and a midget.
Yeah, because you know those movies back in the day, they always had to have a midget in there.
Yeah, dude, you always had to have the midget for a comedic relief, especially for the end.
Yep, pretty much.
You know, the midget survived slavery.
He did. I don't know how he did it.
Actually, how did any of them survive slavery, and how did they get like 10 times more people?
I don't know, and how did they get out of that camp is what I want to know.
Yeah, like they were already getting like raped the second they got into the camp.
Yep, every one of them did.
Yeah, but what I thought was funny is how they get captured, and then, you know, she's like, the whole thing is like, no, don't kill the orphans that bit off your fingers. And it was like, I found them on the side of the road. They mean a lot to me.
Yep, meant nothing.
And it's like, but, you know, the bad guy's like, you know what? I'm going to keep my word. I'm not going to kill them.
And the sorcerer's like, you should probably kill them.
Yeah, this is going to end badly. Dirt Master, train them for 20 years, get them, like, jacked so that they hate each other, and then they can kill each other.
By their own hand.
Yeah. They could have, like, waited, like, a month.
Yep. Yeah, Dirt Master was played by that creepy-looking dude that you remember from all those weird movies.
He was in The Hills Have Eyes, the original Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah, he was.
That's a good one, though.
Yeah. Dirt Master was always the go-to.
Yeah. But I like how he's like the Dirt Master. They could have called him like the Pit Master.
Yep. No, Dirt Master.
Dirt Master. And he just got this look like, hey, my name's Greg. I fucking told you like a million times.
A million times.
You know what was weird, though, is the fact that the guy's throne had to be carried over.
Lifted.
Yeah, lifted up. Like, why not have like some support beams?
Yeah, Nick also thought it was kind of fucked up that it was all black guys.
Yeah, it's like, get the black guys, have them lift me up.
Yep. Basically, like, after they got captured, the two young boys got put into slavery, and that's what Nick was talking about, how they were, like, training them for 20 years. Literally, they were whipping them, making them lift heavy objects, training them to fight.
Yeah.
And they somehow did this for 20 years, and then 20 years later, they're ripped and big, and then everybody's still the same age. What the fuck?
No, the funniest part about it, too, is they're like, the only thing holding the anger and hatred for one another together was the fact that one guy wore a black helmet and the other guy beat the kid wearing like a bronze helmet. And they're like, if these helmets fall off, though, it's all over.
Yep.
They're going to remember who they are.
Yep. And came the time and the place where they were fighting. And me and Nick were like, oh, there's a little pit here where they're going to fight. And these people are sticking their arms out. It'd be really funny. We joked about it, really. It'd be funny if someone got their arm cut off. Then somebody got their fucking arm cut off.
Dude, but it was funny because you're like, they were definitely slaves. It was probably just somebody being like, please, for the love of God, kill me.
Yeah, cut my arm off so I could bleed to death. By the way, when that guy got his arm cut off, it didn't even bleed.
Yeah. I love how when they finally see each other, like, why do you got my face, stupid?
Yeah. Fucking just the best dialogue you've ever heard in your life.
No. And if you fast forward, they get to the forest where, you know, there's this girl in a cage, and all I could think of is like, help me, step bro, I'm stuck.
Yep.
And they gave her this look like they were gonna fuck her, and then they would just walk off.
Yep.
To go and look for the old like trailers that their old tribe used to run around in.
Yeah, like I'm surprised they even remember that.
And then like all those motherfuckers show up, like 25 of them. There was like 10 people tops.
Yep.
At the beginning of the movie.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden they have everybody, and I like how the wizard has Princess Amidala hair.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
the movie only gets worse when they try to hang him, and for some reason in the movie he does that noise of
Yeah, all throughout the whole movie, he's making that fucking noise, and his twin brother in the movie is not really that much better either.
I mean, he makes like animal noises, but at least it's better than listening to the.
Yeah, he makes animal noises, and he like hunches over like he's a fucking like Quasimodo looking motherfucker.
Like Gollum, except he's the smarter brother. That's the funnier part.
Yeah, and basically they get freed, and when they get freed, they show them the tattoos, and then all of a sudden they're like,
oh yeah, we definitely believe you now.
yeah.
And then they go and hunt. They go out and get weapons, and they go to this bar in the middle of the woods. There's like the laziest orgy strip tease I've ever seen. And by the way, we should also say that this movie was made by an Italian director, and there's definitely a bunch of Italian actors who don't speak English, so they're all dubbed over.
Yep. And he was about to arm wrestle the guy, and one of the guys, like, so they were trying to find weapons, and they were like, hey, I'll arm wrestle you if we get the weapons. And he's like, you can have, and I'll also have your woman. And they're like, yeah, that's fine.
She gets pissed off, and all the other women are like, yeah, what did you think this was?
Yeah, and then basically the people are talking to him. He's like, your brother, if he loses, you don't want to beat him because it'll be bad. And he's like, well, my brother's stupid. He doesn't understand.
Yeah, and I thought that was funny. They beat the guys, and then everyone starts a fight with the two most jacked guys in the bar.
Yep.
And the orgy gets just ruined.
Yep, pretty much. So then what happens is they leave. They go back to the castle, and everybody else.
Everyone over there's had an orgy.
Yep, they're all fucking passed out, drunk, and the guys are acting stupid again, making little fucking fart noises. Well, not really fart noises, but just noises.
Still the.
Yeah, just dumb fucking noises. And
then they go and find the lady who found them on the side of the road. Her name's Canary.
Yep.
She's some queen. So apparently the big bad evil guy, he's been neglecting all of his wives for like 20 years, and like giving her all the attention. So the chick who's helping them out is like, oh, you gotta watch out. He's been neglecting his women for about 20 years. You can get stuck in there. And then literally they go in, they try to help out Canary, and then they wake up all the bitches.
Yep, and then they all fucking rape them. Fuck them up. They fuck them.
Well, technically they sexually assaulted these guys who were like virgins on too much semen retention. I bet you they didn't even know how to masturbate by the time they got out of the hole.
Oh yeah, pretty much. And then when they leave, they found the girl they were traveling with, and she had sex with all the bums.
Yeah, like she was just like, oh, I'm going to have sex with all the homeless in this town.
Yep. And she did.
She had a pile of dudes on her.
Yep.
And she was mad. She was like, where were you guys? I was like, well, where were you? And he's wheelbarrowing out his brother.
Yep. And then the sorceress gets out the fucking whip and starts whipping the fucking chick.
Yeah.
By the way, let's talk about the fact that Dirtmaster was always excited and happy when something would happen. It wouldn't matter if it was something good or if it was bad.
Like, he fucked up by training them to be, like, super jacked. And when they got away, he's like, really? He's like just too happy.
Yeah, he's just happy about every goddamn thing. And the sorceress was fucking hot. She was kind of a bitch, but she was fucking hot at the same time because she was kind of craving power. But she whipped Canary, and after she got done whipping Canary, the other girl came over, brought her down, and then the master came back,
and he's like, who did this to you?
And she's like, it was the sorceress, my lord. And then he was just like, I can't stand for this. And then they leave.
He slowly turned into a good guy while still being evil.
Yeah, every time.
But let's talk about the swamp.
Yes,
the Forbidden Lands.
So here's a plot point of the movie that never gets resolved. So at the beginning of the movie, they give the stone, the ruby, to this old guy. Falls out of the carriage, rolls down a hill. And then we're like, oh, well, he's got the stone.
In the Forbidden Land.
Yeah. And so we're like, okay, well, we expect to see the old man again. Well, come to find out, the stone is in this weird swampland inside of like this like statue thing.
And it's protected by a dragon, lizard people, and a werewolf.
Yeah. And we're just like, so what was the point of the old man? What happened to the old man? Where did he go?
Did the old man become the werewolf?
I don't know. We don't know. We don't have answers to this question. He could be one of the skeletons in the swamp that was hanging around.
You know what was funny is they tore off the werewolf's arms. He grew them back, and then he went to attack him all aggressively. They just cut off his head. It was very anticlimactic.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, that part was really weird. That scene where it was just like she gets attacked by the werewolf, and the guy just goes, "Oh, look, I actually ripped off his arm," and the other guy's like, I ripped off his arm too. And then, like Nick said, he's just got his arms again, and then she just shoots him in the chest with a bow and arrow, and then he comes down, and then he just knocks his head off.
Yeah, like he wasn't phased by the arrow. He's like fucking arrows.
Yeah. And so they leave, and then they get in a fight with the guys from, that Galaxy movie.
Yeah, the lizard people.
Yeah,
and then they get into a fight with the worst dragon worm.
Yeah, it was obviously a fucking crane.
That was just all the fight scenes in the movie were wrong.
Yeah,
they were just not. They were not good. The dialogue for the brothers was also just terrible.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Yeah, it's almost like there was a scene when they were in the swamp where the girl's standing there and they're looking around and she goes, "Okay, what do we do next?" And me and Nick were like, "I don't even think that was even in the script. I think she just said that."
I think she really needed to know what's happening next because I'm like
she
lost.
was probably lost because we actually looked her up. She's actually a real talented actress that was in soap operas. Soap operas are like hard acting, so I could just see her being like, "Okay, what are we doing now?"
Yeah, like I have no idea what this fucking movie's actually about.
Yeah, because they're not actors. I mean, those two guys are not actors.
They were just bodybuilders.
They were just bodybuilders, and I don't even think they had lines. I think that they had lines, Nick, but I think what happened is they ad-libbed those lines.
I think they forgot to read them.
Yeah, they probably did forget to read them.
But I know that those two brothers, that was like their goal was to do like a Conan the Barbarian movie to get a start in movies like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, yeah,
and it just fucking failed.
Yeah, because what they did is they forgot to add a plot to the movie. It's almost like they were like, "Hey, let's have them do things that they would do with their muscles, like moving rocks, like picking up a girl who's dead weight and doesn't feel herself being picked up, even though she's
she's being
lifted.
Picked up,
yeah,
over the guy's head."
No, they're just doing it because they're trying to show how strong they are, and then it's everything. Like every moment, they're they're basically like meatheads. They're meatheads that are barbarians.
It would have been better if they had probably gotten on the train earlier on in their life with these fantasy movies. But to be fair, you'd have to have a script of the plot, and your bad guy looking like a discount David Bowie doesn't exactly help. I mean, they threw the orb from
Labyrinth,
from Labyrinth at them, and it exploded.
Yeah, and he even said "Where's the orb?" And they're like, "Oh,
they were like, "Oh shit,
shit,
threw it."
Yeah, we threw it. But basically, what ends up happening is they fight the dragon, and by the way, when they're sitting there talking about how they're going to fight the dragon just doesn't attack them. It gives them time to think about it. They jump into a hole. The dragon gets on top of them, and then the most ridiculous shit happens. They literally cut the dragon open. Green goo hits them in the face,
pouring all over them.
Yeah,
and then they go inside the dragon.
Go inside the dragon, and they're walking around in the dragon, and they're making those fucking sounds again. And then they're walking around, and they find the sorceress who's dead, and they find the stone.
But they don't find Pitmaster.
No, he must have
Mudmaster.
Dirt Master. Same fucking thing, dude.
Mudmaster.
Mudmaster.
No. I'm the Dirt Master. Mudmaster is my brother.
My brother. Probably looks worse. But anyway, they get out of the dragon, and they're walking, and they give the girl the stone, and then they're like, "Hey, where's the stone? You got the stone. No, you got the stone." And then
for some reason
they forgot. They literally did it 5 seconds ago, and then
what's weird is that became their dialogue too consistently at the end of the movie.
Oh yeah.
It was just them arguing,
oh yeah,
supposed to have conflict now or something.
Yeah, basically they'd they'd have a weapon, the other guy would have the weapon. He's like, "I want the sword." "No, I want the axe." They'll switch and they'd be like, "No, actually, I think I want the sword."
The sword's cooler.
Yeah, yeah, and then they switch off. But they end up leaving. The girl, they go through the waterfall and they conveniently wash themselves off, and then they go back to their horses. The girl rides off one way, they ride off a different way, and they're riding through the to the canyon, and she's riding through the forest. She meets up with the fucking freak gang in the fucking woods again.
You know what's the weirdest part is they came back when they went to the forbidden jungle again.
Yeah.
To fight main bad David Bowie.
Yeah.
And then they left to fight in the canyon.
Yep. And as they were going to the canyon, you know, like not David Bowie shows up to the swamp where he's trying to find everybody.
And he killed Canary.
Yeah, because Canary was like, "I will call to them, guys, I'm here." And then they hear it like all the way across the fucking desert, and then they show up to the they show up there, and before that happens, the way he kills Canary is just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, like
she's like she's got the ruby, and you got to have a bird's eye. And then she just starts dancing, and like she's like going off to the side, and he's like trying to stab her. Then he stabs her, kills her,
and he's kind of sad.
and then he cries.
You know, he did a lot of crying. I mean, I can understand at the beginning of the film when the two brothers like bit off his fingers. You know, I'd be a little bit pissed and sad too. Some fucking orphan that they was found on the side of the road just bit off my fingers.
Oh yeah, dude. And he let them live. I mean,
like he's a bad guy, and he's like, you know what?
My word.
I'm gonna give you my word on this one.
Yep. And so what ends up happening though, is he mourns her death. They hide. And basically the two brothers ambush him and they're fighting. And while that's going on, back at the camp with the freaks, they're sticking the jewel in these chicks' like stomach navels. And the little midget is getting the first lines, by the way, of the entire movie. He's like sitting there and
shit.
Yeah, and basically like they're like, okay, let's see if it fits in her navel. They stick it in there, and then it falls out, and then the midget goes, and then the girl would start crying, and they did that like once or twice.
And then the chick who was like just randomly remembered that she was part of the tribe.
Yep.
After it all worked out.
Yep.
In her favor.
Yep, and they stuck the jewel in her belly, the original girl, and it stuck. And the midget was sad. He had little sad tears, and then
and then all the music came back before the fight.
Yep,
the final fight with David Bowie.
Yeah, so when they have the final fight with not David Bowie, it was pretty funny. Basically, like he kind of faked him out. He like put his sword away. They were trying to chase him, and then he comes back around and he fucking slashed their guts. With
a dagger.
With a dagger on each side.
No, the best part is when he pulls out the crossbow, and after 20 years of not having those fingers, he doesn't think to himself, maybe I should hold it with the other hand.
Yep, and he tries to fire, and he's like, wait, I don't have fingers. And then they throw their swords and their axe into him and fucking kill him.
Yeah, it was like, dude, after 20 years of not having your fucking fingers, you telling me you forgot?
Yep, pretty much. And so we go to the end of the movie, which is pretty much a recreation of the beginning of the movie. They're all running across the plain, and they're free to pass, as Nick was saying.
They're all whimsical, happy, and playing the music of the land.
Yeah, music of the land, and then they get on, and we see what was the beginning of the movie. Like when we were like looking at this movie, they had like a little screenshot of the movie, and we didn't know it at the time, but it was the very last scene of the movie, like the very end of the movie. And it's just them riding in the thing, and then they have the little bit again where they want to switch shit again.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I don't want the reins. No, I want the whip. And they're like, all right, I like the whip. I like the reins better. And then the girl's just like, kill me,
Yeah, no,
and
I think she wanted to get double teamed. I think she was getting double teamed by the brothers the whole movie, man.
Yep, and then the movie, 80s freeze frame, roll credits.
Yeah. And that's the movie for you, folks. Definitely 10 out of 10. Don't recommend, though.
Yeah, I mean,
this movie was not King Kung Fu.
Yeah, not King Kung Fu bad, but like still not great either. I mean, it's pretty funny. Like I will give it some credit. There are some scenes that are really funny, but we looked it up. Apparently, they got a Razzie Award for this one, which they were like some of the first people to get Razzie Awards back in the day, and that's not a good thing. Let me tell you that right now. These guys didn't really have an acting career after that. They did like 2 or 3 more movies, and I'm
trying to figure out where they were in like Natural Born Killers.
I don't know. It says like it was like a deleted scene, I think. So they weren't even actually in the movie.
That sucks. Imagine getting paid and you're not even in the movie.
Yeah, because that would have been a pretty big credit for them. Because that was a really popular movie. But the thing, like, at the end of the day, like, we looked it up. Apparently, it was a cash grab to try to make money off Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah. And they
yeah.
just could have done something about the lines and the acting skills.
Yeah, like they could have coached those guys a little bit more, but it just didn't work. I mean, they were two like bodybuilders from up north, up
Rhode
in
Island.
Rhode Island, yeah. So I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean,
they were jacked. You would think that their bodybuilding careers would have taken over.
Yeah, you would
in
think
some way.
but it didn't. I mean, they failed miserably.
I mean, to be fair, bodybuilding's like is very competitive, anyways.
Yeah, it really is. Yep, but that was a movie. There's a lot of problems with it. There's a lot of things There's a lot of things I don't really like about it. But you know what? It's entertaining if you have nothing else better to do. I mean, I would suggest anything else. Masturbating. I would recommend going outside and grabbing a stick and playing with some dirt.
Touch some grass.
Yeah. I don't know. Go over and have sex with the neighbor wife. I don't know. Figure something out.
Maybe, you could really do anything.
Yeah, I mean,
you could go take a shit.
Go scratch your crotch.
Just go take a shit.
Yeah.
Wash your car.
Yeah, wash your car.
Shit on the neighbor's car after you fuck his wife.
Yeah, that's another thing you could do. You know what else you could do? You could go and you could just murder the entire director's family that directed this movie.
Yeah, I think they're already dead inside, so I think they've been waiting for years.
Yeah, they're just like those slaves that were waiting to get fucking killed.
Yeah, they're like, please fucking kill me.
Yeah.
Like Dad, why did you make this film? I got bored.
So yeah, just skip this one and watch Conan the Barbarian. It's way better. It's a way better.
You know what?
movie.
You can watch Red Sonja and still get something out of this.
Yeah.
And that's bad. That's a bad movie.
Yeah, I mean, go watch Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren. I mean, that's a
slightly better movie.
Slightly better movie too. I mean,
in fact, just
go watch Willow. Willow's a better movie.
Which one's Willow?
Willow is that movie with Warwick Davis.
Okay, now I remember. Now
you remember? Yep. Willow, Magic Stones. That movie.
Yep. Now I remember.
Yeah.
God, yeah. You could really watch any movie. You could watch The Never-Ending Story.
I mean, that's a good one though.
That is a good movie.
Let's not lie about that one.
But you could go watch that instead.
Could.
You can go watch Star Wars.
Could watch Star Wars.
Watch The Phantom Menace.
I thought it was weird that we had like two Star Wars references in the same movie. There was like this chick dancing in the
definite like a Twi'lek slave lady.
Yeah, she looked like Leia from Jabba the Hutt's palace, and then other motherfucker looked like Amidala from fucking episode 1 and 2.
Fucking hair and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, dude, I think that's where George Lucas is like, you know what? I think I could work that into a princess character.
Well, yeah, for the sequel movie, but Leia came way before that.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, he watched this movie is like, hey, like I could definitely make Princess Amidala look like that when I make the Phantom Menace.
Yep.
And we're gonna make Slave Leia.
Yep.
You know, there was some weird sexual fantasies brewing in George Lucas's head when he made Slave Leia.
Oh, definitely. But
that's another movie we're gonna watch for another time.
Yep. We're still gonna keep doing these shitty movies for you guys, so you don't have to.
We gotta go back to ape films, though.
Yeah, we're eventually gonna roll back around to ape films. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is our review, and I'm glad you stuck with this fucking bullshit. And
yes, absolutely.
If I have a suggestion, just go check out our shit. Buy our fucking merch. Watch our goddamn channel.
Yeah, buy our merch.
Yeah, share this shit. Fucking comment. Subscribe, like it.
We're gonna have
or
to
just don't like it.
Fans
whatever.
If we keep going this route.
Yeah, and just
economy's bad.
Have a good fucking night or good goddamn morning, whichever it is you're doing right now.
5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. And just try to not watch movies like this.
We'll do it for you.
Yeah. You want to sign us off?
Yes. Stay sexy, Georgia.
Yeah. And fucking good night. Thanks for checking out the Dumb Cool Weird podcast. We're a movie podcast now, so Movie Monday is every Monday about crappy movies from the 20th century. It's going to be great, folks. I can't wait to show y'all.